Hi guys, welcome to gymnastics. I thought I'd take a few minutes to maybe brighten your day and certainly brighten my day by bringing some gymnastics to you since you can't come to me for gymnastics. So I'm going to spend a few minutes today working on stretching. I hope that your parents will share this video with you so that you can spend some time every day working on the different things that I'm going to bring to you. Unlike a lot of you may realize, I don't live at the gym, so therefore I don't have gymnastics equipment at home. I have a few things that I will use throughout the videos that I'm going to post and share with your parents. But overall, I'm basically like you. I'm at home with nice carpeted floor, and pretty much other than that, I don't have a lot of things to use. So today we're going to just work on sitting on the floor doing our stretches like we would normally do. So the first stretch that we're going to work on is just starting our stretches like we normally would. Today's lesson is going to be fine for anything from our preschool level all the way up into our advanced level, and I will spend time telling you which stretches are okay for which ages, and we'll probably start mainly with our younger kids and then we'll go from there. So we're sitting in a straddle position. I'm trying to back up so that you can see me well enough to see that my nice straddle legs. We're working on keeping our feet relaxed, not in a hard point, or a hard flex. So just pointed, relaxed feet, not up in the air, but just with our knees pointed up. We're going to stretch up tall in the sky, and we're going to lean over to one side, and we're going to put our head down toward our knee. And you can try to make your nose touch your knee, or you can just stretch to that position. Our younger kids should just be stretching and holding it just for a couple of seconds. Our older kids, our 5 and up kindergarten kids, should hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. And our advanced kids should hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. So we're just leaning over, putting our nose down toward our knee. And I know you can't see me that well, but this is as much space as I have right now. Then you're going to stretch back up and you're going to go over to the other side. There again, our little ones are holding it just a couple of seconds. Our older kids are going to hold it for anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds, and our more advanced kids are going to hold it up to 30 seconds. Stretching up tall in the front and then going down in the center in the beginning. Elbows down on the ground are great. Once again, relaxed legs. Not tight legs that cause muscles in your legs to cramp up sometimes. Our little friends, we may make some noise on the floor. Our older kids, when we're going to work on stretching it out as far as we can. And there again, holding that position for the amount of seconds that I had told you earlier, 15 to 20 seconds for our 5 and ups and 20 to 30 seconds for our advanced level kids. So holding that position. Great job, everybody. And then when you can do that stretch probably 2 or 3 times on each side, you might want to add the variation of tucking that leg in so that they're going over their knee. Or you can also add the variation of doing that with hard point and hard flex with advanced kids, not necessarily with our younger kids. So the next position is a pike position. That's legs together. And we're going to do our point and our flex. So I'm going to actually pull my feet up so you can see my feet are going to go point with my toes down. And then they're going to do flex with my feet up. Oops, I'm losing my sock. Flex with my feet up. Point. Flex. This is a position that they're going to use a lot, especially when we're doing handstands and other pieces of equipment. We're going to say point your toes. And if they don't realize what that point looks like, they'll continue to flex their foot. Usually a pointed foot tends to make the leg straighter. A lot of kids don't necessarily know that, so you're working on making that flexed foot a pointed foot. So we're working on point and flex. And then we're also working on alternating those so that one's up and one's down, and switching and switching. That's teaching them the control of their body, of being able to control the opposite sides of their brains when they're doing their stretches. So we're doing our point and our flex. And like I said, you'll do that in a piked position with your legs out straight. I don't have room to be in the camera and also be in a pike position. So that's what we're going to do with our point and our flex, which is awesome for our kids. So stretching up tall in the front, leaning forward and grabbing your toes is the next stretch. And the kids that aren't able to grab their toes at this time, or as I say, can't grab your toes yet, grab your ankles, grab above your ankles, grab as far as you can with it being a hard stretch. You don't want it to hurt, but you want to be able to feel it in your muscles. So you want to feel it in there when you're doing it. So some kids are naturally flexible. Some kids have what I call shorter muscles, and flexibility is a little bit harder for them. So it's okay if they can't do this yet. And they may never be able to do it, but it's great for their body to work on stretching it out. And this helps stretch their leg muscles and their back muscles also. And they should feel it in their shoulders even as they're stretching. You can do it with head up. You can do it with head down. You can do it with holding their toes and bending their arms. And you can do it with holding their toes or their ankles, wherever they can hold the easiest, and working on pulling and holding themselves up. So they're actually literally pulling, and they can feel that in their shoulders and in their arms and also in their back and in their legs. Now we're going to go to butterfly position. That's feet together. And we're going to do our legs bouncing up and down. Some places or some experts say this is not a great stretch because kids tend to overdo their bouncing of their legs. That's why we try to do just a gentle bouncing of the legs. And then we do hiding our face. Once again, this one's great for all ages. So they're just going to put their head down. Then they're going to push their feet out. And they're going to put their head down. There again, younger kids holding the stretch for 3 to 5 seconds. Older kids 15 to 20 seconds. And our more advanced level kids for 20 to 30 seconds on each level of this that we're doing. So pushing the feet out and hiding the face completely inside. So that way they're stretched out as far as they can. Their feet are still together. Their hands are on their feet. This is the butterfly stretch. Then when we pull it back in, we do what we call the sailboat stretch, and they're going to rock from side to side. And this is also stretching out their hip muscles, and you can feel it in your back, and a little bit of a twist in motion there, which is great. Also to help with the twist in the back and the sides, the muscles. Then we're going to crisscross our legs. We're going to put our hands together, and we're going to roll our wrist around. And as most of you know, the wrist is one of the most easily injured of our joints in our body when we're doing gymnastics from impact on our wrist. So we want to stretch those out. It also is one that gets fatigued easily with a lot of things that we do that puts pressure on our wrist. Then we're going to shake them out really fast. Once again, these are great for all ages. Then some of you know from my class what we do is with our big hands and our little hands, and working on that alternating between the big hand and the little hand, switching back and forth. So that's working on them using both sides of their brains with our little kids, which is really popular. And for my moms and tots especially, and my dads and tots, you'll know that this is a slow process for them. So some will pick it up quicker than others. So we want to just working on that so that they learn those positions. Then we're going to do opens and crosses. There again, just stretching out different parts of our body. And anything that's hard for your little one, just let them do their version of it, of whatever that we're doing. This is a long stretch for any of our kids under 5. We usually try to stretch for about 10 minutes with our kindergarten up age group, and then maybe about 12 minutes with our advanced teen level kids, because they do have harder skills that they have to do. The next one is up on their hands and knees, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me better. And what we're going to do is we're just going to rock back and forth, rocking over the wrist. There again, putting pressure on the wrist and stretching the wrist out. My fingers are pointed forward, straight ahead, forward, back and forth. Now we're going to turn them backwards and stretch back and forth again. Just working on stretching the muscles out and keeping the wrist nice and stretched out to reduce the risk of injury there. Now this time what we're going to do is we're going to turn the hands outward so that we're going to have them facing away from each other, and we're going to kind of roll our body in a circle around our wrist and our back around the other way. And also, for those of you especially that have a regular coach that coaches your kids every week, they may not do the exact same stretches that I do. They may do something different, or they may do it a little bit more differently, or something totally new that I don't do. And this is just kind of a sampling of some different things that you can work on at home that kind of make it easy for you to remember to stretch out, and also to cover a lot of different things that we do at practice every time. So the next one that we're going to do is called the cat stretch, or some people call it the puppy stretch. So what we're going to do is, this is the one where you're going to put your throat down on the floor and your hips are up in the air. And then that's going to go straight into mermaid or seal, where they're working on arching the back. And we'll do a repetition of that several times. So they're working on the shoulder stretch and also the back stretch. Shoulder stretch and back stretch. And like I said, probably 3 to 5 of those for each position is a great way to do to stretch it out. The next stretch that we're going to work on is going to be a shoulder stretch. So what the kids are going to do is going to pat themselves on the back with their hand, and they're going to have their elbow sticking up, and they're going to pull that elbow over to the side. This is a great shoulder stretch. And there again, our little ones can just be working on trying to pat themselves on the back. Our older kids can work on pulling that arm over and holding that position for a longer period of time. Then we're going to switch sides, and we're going to do the same on the opposite side. Opposite side. So we're going to hold that arm. There again, little friends, just pat yourself on the back. Older gymnasts working on pulling that shoulder over and holding that position, so that you are working on stretching that shoulder to the best ability that you can. And we like to help the kids to understand that the longer they hold a stretch, the better it is stretching that muscle out, so that it is less likely that they will get injured. But you're also increasing your flexibility. And flexibility is such a huge thing in gymnastics that sometimes the kids don't realize. And that's one reason why we need to do more stretching. And we'll talk about in class how they should stretch every day. A lot of our friends don't stretch every day, and it shows when they're in class because their flexibility doesn't improve. But also, as I said earlier, some kids are going to struggle with flexibility. It's not going to be their thing. They may be a super strong, powerful gymnast that's going to be able to do amazing things, but they may never ever be able to do a walkover just because they're not flexible enough in their shoulders to be able to do that position. So what we want to do is get them to their peak level, their most comfortable level, and also get them to where they're making it less likely that they're going to get injured in class because they're stretching correctly. So that's the conclusion of my lesson today. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you all back in the gym. I hope very, very soon. And I will upload another video as soon as I can. Thanks, and have a great day.